So I have an article coming out. The league winners, the website I've been writing for. I haven't had time to do a lot on there, but trying to get into it now. We are putting out a sleepers breakout bust. Sleepers being outside of ADP right now, outside of the top 100 ADP right now. Breakout second, third, or fourth year player is the criteria for that, and then bust someone inside the top 100. We already talked about my breakout, which is Tua. Tua is my breakout that I wrote about. It's just a short snippet. It's paragraph, nothing crazy. My sleeper and my bust. I just want to hit on real quick and we'll be done because we said at the beginning of the episode, so I want to go through it. And these guys we've talked about, over the course of the summer anyways. My sleeper, he's just outside the top 100. I think when I looked earlier, he's like at 113, but on one site, he was at 101. Zach Charbonnet.
I love it.
Yeah, that is my sleeper pick. In my write-up, I discussed the inefficiencies of Ken Walker. And now Ken Walker is a boomer bust running back, right? I think he was had the second most runs of 20 plus yards last year. But I don't remember what podcast I was talking about or I was listening to, but I loved the analysis and I wish I could remember the gentleman's name. But he said Ken Walker's the three true outcomes, or maybe he's talking about Travis Etienne. But he was talking about the new era of running backs just in general seemed to be like the three true outcomes, which is baseball terminology, which baseball went through a phase where everything was either home run, strikeout, or walk. Your three true outcomes, right? No defense is involved. And I just love the carryover into this game. Ken Walker is either 2-yard run or a 20-yard run, right? Well, there's not the in between, there's not the consistency. But what really stands out for me is when you get inside the 10. Inside the 10-yard line, he had 17 carries. That was tied for 16th, I believe. So it's not like he led the league in this, but I think he was tied for 16th with 17 carries, 10 are inside. He managed just 9 yards on that inside the 10. Now, you obviously don't have a lot of room to operate in there, but the stat that really stuck out to me is there's 34 total running backs who had at least 11 attempts or more. So 34 running backs had at least 11 attempts or more inside the 10 last year. And out of those 34, Ken Walker was the only running back who averaged less than a yard per carry. So, yes, there's not a lot of room to work with there, but he just didn't go anywhere. He ran for half a yard per carry inside the 10. And that is where I think if Zach Charbonnet gets the opportunity and can earn some carries in that offense and can earn his role, he just needs to be more efficient in short yardage situations and maybe just a little bit more efficient overall throughout the process of the season, even inside the 20s. And I think he can carve himself out a really nice role in that offense. And he might be a second half league winner if he really carves out the role. Like he has the upside for.
Yeah, and I think even in the first half of the season, I think he's a guy that could get a really good workload early on in the season. I think there's a reason they drafted him around 2. I don't think
Yeah.
they're all that happy with Kenneth Walker. I think going back to the quotes that Dan Campbell used to have about DeAndre Swift, how we left yards on the table.
Yeah.
That's a thing coaches hate. And I know you kind of chuckle at it, and I get it. We love DeAndre Swift as a community, right? We love seeing those big plays and all that kind of stuff out of DeAndre Swift. But when you're leaving yards on the table, coaches do not like being behind the chains. And if they think that you're making it 2nd and 11, that means a lot to them compared to what a 15-yard run means to them sometimes.
Yeah.
And even if, analytics, metrics don't necessarily agree with that mindset, that's not the ones making those decisions. And I don't think Charbonnet is just a plotter either. I mean, we talked about it, way back in March, how Charbonnet was our third favorite running back in this class and probably an early second round pick. And that's exactly what he was for Seattle. I think he's a good player. I think he's still got great opportunity. We have talked about how there's no pass catching opportunities in Seattle, and that's kind of a bummer for a running back.
Yeah.
But I definitely think he can be the goal line guy. I think he can be the primary rusher. I think it means more negative for Kenneth Walker, maybe sometimes than it does positive for Charbonnet. I love Charbs, though. I think he's an outstanding sleeper pick.
Yeah, and that's going to be a backfield that's going to be really hard to project.
Right.
A Charbonnet breakout, right? It's going to be really hard to project what I just went over.
It's going to be hard to project, period.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so that's one thing where it's like, all right, well, here's my belief. My projections don't show it. And you just kind of, sometimes you got to go with your gut over the numbers. And then my bust, we've discussed him as a bust already on this podcast, but it's been a while. So let's touch base with it again. My bust is he's a Buccaneer. And it's Rachaad White.
Uh,
I cannot
bust
get myself
a
to
Bustaneer.
a Bustaneer.
A
There's gonna be a
Bustaneer.
lot of them this year. I just can't get myself to buy into
There's
them,
only- I
right?
think there's only one.
If honestly, if your name's not Chris Godwin, and you're a Buccaneer, I'm not gonna have you at all this year in fantasy. My biggest thing is obviously this is a completely different Tampa offense, right? Like pass attempts are gonna go way down. Your rush attempt should go up, but I think we're losing all the value touches, and not all of them, but I think we're
A
losing a good
lot.
majority of them because there's not going to be nearly as much target share to running backs, and opportunities near the goal line are also going to drastically decrease because I don't think they're going to move the ball very well. Now, obviously, they didn't score a ton of points last year with the Brady-led offense and 700 pass attempts, but I do think we're losing valuable touches near the goal line, and the passing work is going to be cut drastically. And because of that, and I'm not sold on Rachaad White in this situation.
I completely agree, and he's going at 65th overall too.
That's the other kicker. He's going like mid-fifth round right now, and there is just no shot in the world I am paying for him. I was thinking, I was like, he honestly might need to be in the 10th round for me to take Rachaad White. Like,
10th round would be a bit much.
yeah,
Like
no, but I was like, 8th round, probably still not going to do it. 9th round,
8th round, I think I would.
But then you're stuck with him. That's the problem. Like,
Sure.
give him to me in 9th round, but now I'm stuck with him on my roster.
Would you
And
rather draft
I think I'm just gonna let someone
Deontay
else.
Johnson and be stuck with him? Like,
Yeah, but like I can go get Zach Charbonnet.
oh, okay. Well, in my mind,
I'm
I already
getting closer. I'm getting closer to Kendre Miller territory. Like I'm happy to take these young guys in that yeah, I may end up cutting Kendre Miller, but
I think
Rachaad White's
Miller's
gonna be
I think he's
Rachaad
just
White's gonna be
undraftable
Paul
now.
DeYoung, where he's too good to cut, but he's not good enough to really make a difference for your team. And you're just stuck with him.
I get where you're going with there. Now, Kendre Miller, I know you were a Kendre Miller guy. To me, him missing time in camp, plus Kamara maybe having a shortened suspension, Kendra is just not even on my board now.
Yeah, we could get to mid-August and I could be completely out on him. But as it stands right now, still waiting for a 4-6 game suspension. I still like Miller if I go hero RB or zero RB
Yeah,
as
I'm
my
totally out.
he'd be like my 5th running back.
He's not in my top 50.
And that's fine. Top 50 running backs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I have two Tampa running backs actually ahead of him. I have Chase Edmonds there.
Oh, you know, I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, he had that one game one time.
Yeah. Yeah.
More than Kendre Miller can say, right? There's some good stuff in there from me and Tanner about kind of his sleepers, his breakouts, and one of his busts for this upcoming year. If you want to know more about Tanner's projections and a couple of quarterbacks he's real high on and kind of confirming why he's high on them, check out that video right here.